What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here. I'm doing another VOD coaching session. If you guys want to get VOD coaching, as always, just reach out to me on my Discord. You can find a link to my Discord down below and then just message me. My rate is $30 an hour, and this is an hour-and-a-half session. This person had 3 games that they wanted me to go over, so I'm going to go through 3 of them in an hour and a half. Usually I do like 2 in an hour, so I thought I could do 3 in an hour and a half. And they also have some like general questions, so I'll check that out as well. I don't know if I want to have audio on or not. Ear start on J4? I think it's fine. I didn't see if there was a casted on carousel. Yeah, there's like talking. I'm just gonna I'm gonna mute it just so I don't get distracted. Maybe there wasn't a Okay, here it's gonna take me literally half a second. I mean, they can check the casted in right there anyway. Actually, it's like too hard to see. Okay, there's no casted in, so you're chilling. But still, I see so many people not checking mutant, so good that either you're not checking mutant. Oh, I should also see when I started. Okay, 1 hour 16 minutes. Just trying to get a idea for how long this session should be. Okay. So yeah, you see these 5 units in shop. You buy Cassidon and check mutant, which I think is totally fine. I'm down to play the Caitlyn here, but I mean, you really have to see what you get here. I mean, this can matter a lot. I would probably buy the Ziggs here, especially with tier start, or the brand over the Caitlyn. Just because you're more likely to play AP with a tier start. Tier Giant's Belt seems quite AP heavy. Could be like Renata game, like Morello's blue buff kind of thing. So I'd buy one of these over the Caitlyn. I'd probably just buy both of them instead of the Cassidon here, and then scout and look at someone else's Cassidon. I mean, Cassidon's a good unit. Oh my goodness. It was Metamorphosis. I feel I would also sell this at the end here for one of these 2 AP units. Probably Ziggs, just to open the chance of playing Yordles. Weak spot here? With those options? I mean, I'm pretty sure lifelong learning. I'm just going to look up augment win rates real quick. I'm pretty sure lifelong learning. Oh, it's not even that much of a troll. So you could take lifelong learning. But I'm not convinced it's not just Arcanist Heart here. Arcanist Heart here. Like, you have the tier, you have the giant spell. Just take Arcanist Heart here and just play AP. I think seems totally fine to me. You take weak spot here, which I mean is not a bad augment. It's not gonna like lose you the whole game. Yeah, it looks like you're trying to play around mutants here with an early redemption on Cho'Gath. I mean, it's an insanely good item on Cho'Gath, so I don't hate this play. I wouldn't sell all the units, but I mean, like, I guess the chance of you playing them is pretty low. Good scouting. Okay, you scout and you see someone who has a mutant crest, so immediately I would be like, okay, JK, I'm not playing mutants. It's been nice. I've slammed redemption, but I don't really want to play mutants from here. I don't know. You should always, in this position, unless you're in a pre-level, which honestly seems totally fine here if you're trying to play around mutants, right? You would love to see a Malzahar. Like, the difference between a Malz and no Malz here is insane. So I'm kind of down to pre-level here. If you're really committed to mutants, you can also just get in the Alawi. If you're not going to pre-level, you should just buy out the shop. Like, if you randomly find a Twitch 2, you could play it, or even like an Ezreal too. So I would buy out the shop just in case. Or you might just like imagine your next shop, even though this is very unlikely, is like Ezreal, Singed and Singed. Or maybe like Singed. Zillion. Like, you could pivot into innovators here. It's just like a very small optimization you can make to buy out your shop in this spot if you're not going to pre-level. But I'm kind of down to pre-level here to find more. If you're like, I'm definitely playing mutants, which something the redemption makes me think, then I'm down to pre-level here and try to dig for a Malzahar. Because if you don't do that, then you're basically committed to lose streaking from this spot, which, like, I don't know if I want to do, to be honest. But yeah, that would go there. You level now for the Alawi, so there was no reason to not pre-level, right? You basically just got worse shop odds, right? I don't care about getting a Cassid in 2-star. I care about finding a Malzahar. But yeah, this isn't a bad unit, or this isn't a bad early board. You should definitely be able to kill some units. Oh, and just for rank information, I think this player said that they are platinum, so just to get an idea of the elo that we're at, plat elo. So we should be able to, if we have a decently strong board, not lose much HP. Evolution. Like, this will, like, I mean, there's no pivot to be made here, right? But like, the devolution, imagine the items that you had before. I mean, you wouldn't be able to slam anything really good. You have the Echo, but like, it could potentially have been just like an AP game and you use Lucian as your item holder. So he wouldn't be an Arcanist if we had taken +1 Arcanist, but yeah. Still. I mean, Devolution is pretty crazy. But I mean, nothing to do with it here. Ideally, we win the fight, but I'm not really holding out for it. I mean, this guy we beat, right? Yeah, this guy's board looks pretty weak. So I guess we win this fight. That's good news. All right, and I'll just skip through it because, like, oh, wait. I mean, actually, it's okay. I wasn't close at all. And so we made 10. That's good. I think it's definitely good to make 10 in this spot. I mean, I don't really care about holding any of these units. It is, I do think you lose a little bit of, like, of a win rate if you just hard force from this angle, especially with just weak spot as your augment taken. But I mean, like in that spot, you shouldn't hold any units, right? But like the fact that you didn't hold any units in like your second or third shop makes me suspect that you're just hard forcing mutants from here, which it's risky, I guess is what I'll say. Looks like we lose this fight pretty hard. I would hold, you know, this unit, this unit. It like potentially could. Oh, actually, is really close. Cho kind of a monster with redemption. Okay, so we could look for a Bramble Vest or just like a Malzahar item if we're looking to play mutants from here. I also wouldn't feel bad about just taking Malzahar here. Bow for a like Titans seems reasonable, or I'm not convinced that Bramble Vest isn't just better here. So I guess we'll see what your idea is if you're slamming Titans here. Because if you slam Titans, and here I'm also okay. So I'm gonna go to metatft.com here. I will pull it over and pull up display capture. Oh, no, you can literally just see it. Awesome. Okay. So stats, units. I mean, I know Titans is quite good on Cho'Gath, and I'm not like I haven't spammed a million games of mutants. And okay, so Bramblevest is like very slightly maybe better. Maybe if you go to individual items, it might rate Titans higher. Yeah, very slightly Titans higher, though it says like the best possible build involves Bramblevest. I mean, this is a situation where you can scout the rest of the lobby and see if anyone has slammed Infinity Edge or anything like that. I mean, looking at this, it does seem like Titan Slam is quite good, so I wouldn't feel bad about it. The only other thing is, like, if Titans and Bramble are equal, you lost 1 gold taking the Titans as opposed to taking the Bramble Vest, right? It was on a 3 cost versus a 1 cost. But I mean, I think you can make the argument based on the stats that I just pulled up that Titans is better. It's a more flexible item on Cho'Gath and can pair with a lot more stuff. So you feel better just slamming the Titans. It also gives you some damage, arguably more damage than Bramble Vest. And your comp is severely lacking in damage right now. All right, so Cho, I mean, he's definitely stacking it up. He's definitely doing some work, which is, I mean, Cho just wins this, right? Oh my gosh. I mean, did Cho farm 4 stacks from that fight? That's actually insane. Wait, Sejuani a better unit than Alawi? The only issue is you'd have to sack Econ to hold the second one. So I'm kind of down to not and just make 30 here. I think that's the play, to just make 30 gold here. This Cho's getting kind of huge. These are, yeah, very close to best in slot Cho items. So it's a pretty good angle to potentially play Cho from, or just like, play Cho and then hard force mutants from here. We'll see like how hard you hit, because the only downside to hard forcing mutants from this spot is if you don't hit mutants hard, it's gonna be tough. Okay, but the Mouse is amazing. That is like literally exactly what you want from this spot. Yeah, next level is Swain, ideally, for Hextech Arcanist. We'll see if we can get that. Doing some scouting, which is good. I didn't see what that Tome person built, but we still have that other person who's playing mutants, which is a bit rough. Nico's interesting, not the best. It could be JG Malzahar. Okay. I mean, you're on a win streak. Slamming items isn't bad. And JG scales decently with Metamorphosis, in the fact that you're getting like extra raw stats. So I don't hate this. Also, if you don't slam JG, what are you going to do with the glove? You should... I don't know if you scouted and saw that there were no Blitzcranks, but if you didn't, you should definitely position for the potential of Mal's getting hooked and put Cassidon in the corner so that you don't like just lose a fight by Mal's getting hooked, because that could totally happen. A lot of your damage. But I mean, honestly, looks like with these items and just with the strength of the boards that you're fighting, you're kind of chilling. Oh, what? I'm totally against rolling at 5 there. For Cassidon too, you should definitely just if you're going to roll at all, you level to 6 and roll. But I don't even feel that great about that. I think your board's stable enough here that you don't even need to roll. Because ideally, for this mutant comp, you want to be doing... I mean, you want to either... There's like two ways to play it, right? You can play like reroll mutants where you're looking for Cho 3, Mouse 3. Or you can just go like Fast 9 mutants and play around Kaisa. I think the Kaisa is like generally stronger, though in some spots, if you get a bunch of Malzahars, it can be good. I don't think so. So if you're gonna play the variant where you're rolling for Cho 3, Mouse 3, you want to be rolling at 7. That's the highest odds for you to hit 3-cost units. Rolling at 5, I think is... I mean, it gives you the highest chance of hitting Cassidon too, but I really just don't care about hitting Cassidon too. I would absolutely level up there, put in, I believe you had a Gnar in your shop. Yeah, so you could have leveled and played Nard here and spent like 0 income. Instead, we spend, I don't know, how many times do we roll? 1. We roll more than that though. I saw multiple rolls. 2. It's 4 gold that we spend rolling there. It's definitely not worth it though. You should definitely just level and put Gnar in. And I mean, if you want to play really greedy, you don't level, but this is something that I talked to some other students about, where like in this spot, you actually don't get punished for not leveling, but I feel like the higher that you climb, the more you're going to get punished for not leveling in this spot. Like most games, you should level at 3-2. I don't feel great about any of these augments, to be honest. If we're playing this, I mean, I guess it's got to be Bruiser Crown, right? It has some synergy with Elderwood buff, right? It's giving you the armor and MR that scales with HP. But I mean, this seems like the only possible out. Disintegrator? I mean, it'll give you a little bit of damage, but doesn't seem great. I'm down to put an Alistar over Rek'Sai here. It's gonna make your board like ridiculously tanky. Yeah, that looks good. The only downside is we sack income here. But what are you gonna do? I guess you could sell a Rek'Sai, but I want to hold these Rek'Sais. You should still have the Cassidon position. No, 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 no. Don't roll, don't roll, don't roll. Your board is so good. You have no reason to roll. But yeah, look, your Melzgar got hooked in this fight. I'm not gonna say like this is gonna lose you the fight because you might still win because your board's so strong. But versus like a really strong opponent, you could potentially lose your win streak here by getting Melz hooked. Whereas having Cassidon in the front line doesn't really matter because your front line's already so huge. But yeah, no reason to roll at 6. Look at our win streak without rolling. I mean, the rolling, all it did was hit us a Cassidon 2-star. It's really not important. All right, so Rod or Sword here for Malzahar, or we could look for a final Cho'Gath item, but I would just take the Sword for Malz. Giant Spell for Cho is fine. I think the ideal last item, based on what I was looking at on Meta TFT there earlier when I pulled it up, was Dragon's Claw. Let me make sure. But I believe that's the case, that you want a Dragon's Claw if you want a final Cho'Gath item. Yeah, it says Dragon's Claw. I guess it says Dragon's Claw, Warmogs, Bramble Vest, Gargoyle Stoneplate. So if you're looking for a Cho item, you should take this Cloak instead of the Giant's Belt, because this only builds into Warmogs, whereas Cloak can build Dragon's Claw, which is the best possible option, and then Gargoyle Stoneplate, which is also quite good. I mean, the Giant's Belt can also be Morello's for Malzahar, but if you're looking to take a Malzahar item, I mean, okay, so the Giant's Belt can only be Morello's for Malzahar. If you're looking for a Malzahar item, the sword can be Gunblade. It can be Spear of Shojin. It can even be like Giant Slayer. I think this is better. It's also a 3-cost versus a 1-cost. The only argument to be made is that this can be Morello's and it can be a Cho'Gath item. But I think I want to start prioritizing Malzahar items here, because if we take this, it's very possible that we end up... I mean, we have 1 Malz item. Wait, and also the idea with taking the sword is that because you slam JG, you can potentially slam IE as well. But we'll see. Naturally, the Malzahar is really nice. So, I mean, the rolling got us there, but I don't think we needed to roll at 6 here. It's not like we have a ton of pairs. Okay, and if you slam the... Okay, if you're going to take the Giant's Belt there, I don't think you slam it on Cho'Gath. I think you hold it and potentially make it Morello's on Malzahar. Because yeah, if you're looking for an item to slam on Cho'Gath, then it's always Cloak there instead of Giant's Belt. Just from a highest chance of getting a good item perspective. Yeah, it looks like your board is strong enough that you should win these fights. I do still feel like Bruiser Crown was better than Disintegrator, just because the health scales so well with the Elderwood mutation, right? You could have a Bruiser Alistar here right now, which would be pretty insane. Oh, okay, we Nico's the Alistar? I don't feel terrible about that. Why are we rolling at 6 still? Why are we slow rolling at 6? If you want to slow roll, which just like definitions, I guess, if you haven't heard the term slow roll, because there's a bunch of random things in TFT that we say best in slot, slow roll, blah 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 blah. Slow roll is like rolling down your goal above 50, but you probably already know that because you're literally doing it. In any case, you should be doing this at level 7 if you are playing this. If you're trying to look for Cho'Gaths and Malzahars, you have a higher chance of hitting these units at level 7. So no reason to roll at 6 here. You're rolling for literally nothing. It's just Rek'Sai that you're rolling for here at 6, which is not worth it. Also, especially because you Nico the Alistar, which I mean feels like a pretty good tempo play. I mean, is Second Redemption, Sunfire. I mean, okay, so here in this spot, imagine you had taken Cloak, you would have a Gargoyle Stoneplate now, which is infinitely better. You see how taking Giant's Belt, you only have one item that you would really like to build here, which is Morello's, where if you take Gargoyles, or if you take the Cloak, then you could, if you hit this Chain Vest, you can build Gargoyles, and if you hit another Cloak, then you can build Dragon's Claw. So just taking items that give you more options is better in most scenarios. Lola 7 here. Put in Rek'Sai. I'd rather put in the Swain, honestly, just to get Arcanist in. I don't think it's right to keep rolling. Lock the shop? I don't want to. Just buy him and sack one Econ. I don't think it's worth locking the shop here to save one Econ. Looks like you're very... Because, I mean, you never do this, right? Because locking the shop, you're giving away a reroll in order to hold the shop. You can buy these 3 units and lose 1 Econ, or you can lock the shop and then lose a free reroll, which is 2 gold. So you're losing 2 gold to save 1 gold. So no reason to lock the shop if it's ever going to stop you from making 1 Econ. You should always just buy these units and drop the Econ. Okay. I don't think you Nico's the Cho'Gath here. I don't think it's enough of a spike that you really care that much. Like, getting Cho2 here is good. I would much rather just use this on my last Cho'Gath to hit a Cho'Gath 3 than my third Cho'Gath, basically. Because the more Cho'Gaths you get, the less Cho'Gaths are going to be in the pool, which means the lower chance you're going to be to get future Cho'Gaths. So using it on the last Cho'Gath is actually much more valuable than using it on the third Cho'Gath. Because we have such a strong board, I mean, I'm kind of down to just go 8 right here and stop, like, and not even roll and just go fast 9. Because our board is so good, and because like you play a very I guess like tempo, like aggressive style, but this means your board's not going to cap out as highly, because like if you save that Nico's, it makes getting like a potential Kaisa 2 late game much higher chance, potential Cho 3 or Mal's 3 if you end up going for that. So I think you should just save the Nico's there and be a little bit more greedy in this spot. But I agree on the item slam. I think it's Sunfire. Okay, so rolling at 7 means that we are definitely looking to just play this reroll variation, which is totally fine. I think in this spot, that makes sense. This guy looks like they are trying to go fast 9. Or maybe not. I guess we'll see. They're just still level 7. I'm just saying that because they have a Kaisa, but maybe they're not. We'll see. But that would be nice if they didn't contest you. You should... Oh, and this isn't even the mutant player. So there's at least 3 mutant players in this lobby, unless that person pivoted out. That's kind of scary. So you should definitely be scouting the 2 mutant players every turn to see how many mutants they're holding. Sword or tier here? Okay, so it's just sword here. Absolutely. Ooh, gotta be sword. Yeah, gotta be sword for a mana item. I don't care that it combines on a Kassadin. I'm not looking to find Kassadin 3. Really good hits. Yeah, it's just Shojin, and then play that on Malzahar. No. I mean, I'm not gonna build. You don't want to build a Kassadin 3 with this sword on it. You want to just build a Shojin. Because, like, if you build a Kassadin 3, then you're losing access to the sword. So you definitely just build Shojin on Malzahar here. But I mean, it's a really strong board. This Cho'Gath is just demolishing people. He stacked early, and he is popping off. And I think it's totally fine to just slow roll at 7 like you're doing. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, just take Mutant Crown first. And I mean, the only issue is you actually have to push levels to get in to make use of the other mutant. Like you actually have to level up twice and go 9 to put in 7 mutant because you're playing the Alistar, which is really awkward. And because you're so close, I would just play down a mutant emblem for a few rounds and try to find this Malzahar. Like I imagine you'll do. It's pretty awkward to just play without one of these mutant emblems, but I think it's what you have to do. Like the other option is just look to go 9 here, but your 3 Malzahars off, your 5 Chose off, which isn't ideal. But I mean, the fact that your 3 Malzahars off, I think it's worth. But you should definitely move the sword over onto Malzahar and make Shojin. I mean, I guess you can wait, but I'm pretty sure Shojin is the best. It is the best mana item in long fights. Blue buff will make him cast slightly faster, but Shojin is the best item over multiple casts. Okay, so you make the choice. Oh, BT blue buff? I don't know if maybe it's fine. I think I probably would have gone with Shojin Chalice, and the Chalice wouldn't go on Malzahar. Um, but I can see BT blue buff here. I actually kind of like it. Okay, I'm fine with BT blue buff. Okay, so now we are going 8 here, which is not bad either. Just get in like Echo, and then you can make him a mutant, though he'd lose gold for it. You also you don't actually have corner protection here with Kha'Zix. Like it looks like you have Blitzcrank protection, but you don't because this is a Kha'Zix and he's just gonna jump. So you should swap Kha'Zix and Kassadin so that you actually have hook protection. Um, yeah, I mean the reward for going 9 is huge. Your 3 Malzahars off, but you can always find those at 9. It is a really hard choice. You should definitely slam the blue buff. Whether you should like go 9 or roll more at 7 to just try to find this Mouse 3 and be done with it. I mean leveling here really didn't do anything for your comp. I think me personally, I would have just rolled and tried to find Mouse 3. Um, but I think what you did here is totally fine to just push levels. Like I think both of those choices are equal. I don't know why you're so reluctant to slam blue buff here. And yeah, we're also still getting Blitzcrank hooked if we fight anyone with Blitzcrank. Like the blue buff is a huge spike for Malzahar. You should definitely slam it. Yeah. But yeah, I still it's really tough to say between Shojin. Because Shojin is better in long fights, but BT is a better item to slam than Chalice, I think. I mean Chalice is still nice, but we get a decent amount of AP from the mutant buff already. So I think I'm fine with either one. Okay. I mean, if you're gonna go 8, you shouldn't roll at 8 because going 9 is a huge power spike for you because then you can get in 7 mutants. So if you are gonna go, if you aren't gonna roll at 7 for Malzahar, I wouldn't roll at all. I would just go fast 9. So I think it's a bit bad to do like a little bit of both here, where you level at 8 and then roll at 8. You should just go 9 and get in your 7th mutant. Morellis is really good. Trap Claw could be okay. I guess it's probably just Trap Claw then. Or Zephyr. Zephyr's really good too. Zeke's, or not Zeke's, Zizirot? I don't think it's ever Zizirot. Your board has infinite front line. I think you need to worry about your back line, which you can use Zephyr to deal with like their carries, or you can use Trap Claw to protect your Malzahar better. I don't think it's ever Zizirot. Zizirot is really good when you're lacking in front line, but your comp has so much. I mean, it gives you a little bit more stall for Elderwood, but I don't think you're ever like oh, these fights are ending instantly with your huge Cho'Gath and your Alistar. I don't think you're also under that much pressure to just roll it down here. So I think it's okay. We also still haven't scouted any other boards to see like how many Malzahars they're holding. It's definitely something we should do. I mean, it looks like we're okay, but we should definitely be scouting and seeing like if there are a bunch of other Malzahars out of the pool. I'm also down to just sell Rek'Sai, Alistar here and make 50. Because I don't think our chance of hitting Rek'Sai through Alistar, especially the Sivir, just still Sivir, Rek'Sai, or Sivir Alistar. I mean, you can roll a little bit here. You're one off Mal's. Yeah, I mean, you would love to get the Ahri in, but there was no reason to do all of this rolling if you're not going to roll for Mal's 3. So yeah, it's like kind of like going back and forth. I think you need to commit to one way of playing um, in this spot, right? Either choose to roll at 7 and find Mal's 3, or go 9. But by doing both, I don't think you're in that good of a spot. Wow, that is a very good item. That's insane, actually. Okay. Well, you have IE for Malzahar. I mean, it's always gonna be on Mal's. Um, with the IGG, yep, going 9 looks good, but yeah, I just wouldn't have rolled as much. Getting an Ahri looks good. I was afraid. I was so afraid you were gonna put on the Kha'Zix. It's definitely better on Malzahar, right? You're about to hit Malzahar 3. Um, you, yeah. I mean, I guess we could see in this fight if there's any way Cho'Gath does more damage than Malzahar, or not Cho'Gath, Kha'Zix does more damage than Malzahar. He might be better right now. But definitely once you hit Malzahar 3, the Infinity Edge is gonna be so much damage that I feel like it's definitely Infinity Edge slam on Malzahar because we have the JG. And I mean, Mal's still outdamaged the Kha'Zix even with Infinity Edge on Kha'Zix. Yeah, I think it was definitely Infinity Edge. Mal's. I'm down to get Victor in over Ahri. Yep, looks good. Um, yeah, probably roll here. You're not. It's not that you're never hitting that. It's just kind of unlikely. But I'm fine making it actually. Um, yeah, I mean, this is a situation where, like, by the way, like if we hadn't just slammed that Nikos on a Cho'Gath earlier, we would already have Malice 3 for, like, 6 rounds or whenever we got it. So that's why kind of like grading a Nikos for your last unit as opposed to like one of the first ones is generally better. But overall, things looking pretty good. Probably gonna hit a Malice 3. I mean, judging the strength of the lobby, I mean, I don't know what this guy's board is who's win streaking. You can sell one of those to roll. Or I mean, yeah, you should definitely hold that. I mean, maybe we're gonna hit Kha'Zix 3 here. Actually kind of crazy. But I mean, you're one off Mouse 3 versus like infinite off Kha'Zix 3. So it was still definitely slam the IE on Malzahar. I mean, once you hit Kha'Zix 3, it's definitely better to have it on Kha'Zix instead of Malz. And if by some like insane situation you end up hitting Kha'Zix 3 before Malz, then I guess it's chill. Static Shiv isn't bad. Last Whisper, like generally Kha'Zix doesn't like Last Whisper. The thing is, Malzahar's ability already reduces magic resist. So maybe it is just Last Whisper here. I mean, we're not getting another item, so I guess it's just Last Whisper for Kha'Zix. And if not that, then it's the static. But yeah, we'll take Last Whisper. The only takeable item here. I guess theoretically, oh, it was on a Malzahar. Okay, I'm blind, but yeah, then it was absolutely take it. It's a little bit awkward, but you definitely want your mouse 3, so looks good to me. All right. I mean, I imagine we can go first with this comp at the level of like a random platinum lobby. There are definitely lobbies where like this comp wouldn't go first, but like judging by the amount of fights that you're winning and the HP totals of everyone else, it's probably a first, I imagine. I would. I mean, this might be the last fight, so I would probably roll here and try to find the um Kha'Zix. This is if you win the game could be over. I mean, it might still be. This is a double kill. Okay, double kill. It's a first. It's not a bad game. Um, I think there are definitely some things that could have been done better. Like I talked about a little bit, a lot of the rolling was a bit weird. I think you need to think about what units you're actually rolling for and what the best level to roll for them is. Um, like you definitely shouldn't have rolled at 5 here. If at anything, you should roll at 6. But I also think you can just be greedy in these situations and not roll at 6. I think you can be a little bit greedier with your Nikos. I think it was totally fine to Nikos the Alistar, but Nikosing to hit Cho'Gath 2, I think is not correct. Yeah, I think generally the way that you played, like I would have thought about playing Arcanists from here. But I mean, the Triggeth with Redemption is really good, so I don't feel too bad about that. Like that's pretty great. Yeah, those are my main thoughts on this game, I think. But overall, like pretty well played. I also think Disintegrate over Bruiser Crest was. I mean, I don't. Maybe you needed the damage, but I think Bruiser Crest scales so well with Elderwood Mutant that I think it was Bruiser, or it's Bruiser, the one they gave you too, the Prismatic, right? Versus Disintegrator, it's not like you're auto attacking that much. So it does give you some damage. It's not the worst, but I would take Bruiser over it, I think. And yeah, I think the IE should have gone here. And then you would have even had the Last Whisper would have popped off, and you could have put Last Whisper here. But yeah, I would have done more damage there. But yeah, pretty good first game. Let's get into the next game.